This is the Corolla Cross Hybrid, and it doesn't have anything particularly special about it, but it does have class-leading fuel efficiency. So let's learn a little bit more about this car. So one of the biggest complaints that I have heard is that this is kind of just a basic design. They really didn't push the envelope there. It's not so squared off and edgy like the RAV4 is, which I think is perfect for this. I like the way that this looks. It's more rounded off. It looks sporty. It looks like it can kind of do some off-roading if you want it to. I like the design. I would drive one. This is the XSE trim. So with that, you're going to get LED lights all the way around. You got LED fog lights down at the bottom, LED tail lights. The other cool thing is, on these hybrids, they blacked out all the badges. So you can see the Toyota badge here is all smoked out. We come around to the side here and you have the all-wheel drive badge right down here, because the hybrids come standard with all-wheel drive. Yes, standard with all-wheel drive, which is really nice. And you can come across back here and you see the black Corolla Cross, the black Toyota logo, XSE hybrid with that little blue on there. They used to trim out the Toyota badges with that blue. And you can see from the side, we do have about 8 inches of clearance here. So do a little off-roading if you would want to. The other thing you get with this XSE is these 18-inch wheels. They're really nice, a machine face, black gloss in between. These hybrids also come with a sport suspension, so it is a little bit tighter, feels a little bit better, a little more comfortable. You feel a little more in control in the corners and changing lanes. One last thing that comes standard on these across all trims is the Safety Sense 3.0, which is going to give you some adaptive cruise, emergency braking, lane keep assist, and lane centering, some items like that. But that is really nice that they are putting that full suite across all trim lines. I talked about this having class-leading fuel efficiency, and the reason it has that is because this is the 5th generation hybrid system that's being used in the Prius. It has a 2.0 liter dynamic force 4-cylinder with 3 electric motors. That's going to push out 196 horsepower. This is tied to their eCVT, their electric motor driven CVT, with 0 to 60 in 7.3 seconds, which is considerably quicker than the gas-powered Corolla Cross. Now, your fuel efficiency, this is where I was talking about, class-leading fuel efficiency. You're gonna average 45 miles per gallon in the city, 38 out on the highway, for an overall average of 42 miles per gallon. That is awesome. So if you want to save some money on your gas, keep some more money in your wallet, money in your purse, money in your pocket, this will save you quite a bit. All right, here's a look at the back. I like the way the back looks. I think it's got a pretty good butt. I don't know what you guys think. Let me know down in the comments. But let's take a look at this cargo area. All right, we got 21.5 cubic feet of space in here. You can see that it's not a whole lot. It's decent. You can work with it. Enough for groceries. You could probably take a trip and put plenty of luggage back here if you wanted to. Now, you do have your JBL sub is right there. If you lift up underneath here, you have your tire fix kit. And this does come up and out of there if you would choose to, but you do have some high voltage stuff under there, so you might not want to take that out. Probably wouldn't be a good idea. It doesn't look like I see any power back here, but if you drop these second row seats and you take this shelf out of here, you're going to have 40 cubic feet of space in here. That will give you a lot of room to get some big bulky items if you need to. If you're enjoying the content, hit the subscribe button because I put up 2 videos every week. I apologize if there's any wind noise. It is super windy today, but let's take a look at the inside here. Here is your door panel, and of course, you do have some soft touch right here. There's not much padding right here. You can see my finger doesn't even move pushing on it. That does bother my elbow a little bit driving this around. You have your window controls and your mirror controls right there. You do have a pretty good sized pocket down here for bottles. Over here you do have powered seat with lumbar, which these seats are pretty comfortable so far. I've been driving in it a few days and I feel pretty good. I like the way that they trimmed this with imitation leather, and then you have this nice fabric material down here. It looks nice, it looks good. The seats are pretty comfortable. You come across here and you do have a little bit of soft molding right here, and this is pretty hard up here, which is fine. And you do have this nice little trim piece going around. You also have the trim piece on the door handle right there. I like that. Now, you can't expect a whole lot in this price point, and we're going to talk about price here in just a little bit. We'll come across and we're going to take a look at this 7-inch digital display. So in the center, you have charging on this side, you've got eco up there, and you have your power display over here on this side. In the center, you can flip through a few things, but we will talk about that in the tech video later on. On the right side, you have your fuel gauge. On your left side, you have your temperature gauge. It also says EV up there when it is an EV. And you also have driver assistance features right up over here, and your miles to empty, and your odometer down over on this side. All right, we can take a look at the steering wheel here. And this is just a typical Toyota steering wheel. It's the same thing as probably came out of the Corolla and several other vehicles. So you have all your driver assistance features over here. And this one does have lane centering, lane keep assist, adaptive cruise control. It's fully loaded, Toyota Safety Suite 3.0. On the other side, this is where you have your voice recognition, control your stereo, and control your menu in the driver's display. Over here you have an 8-inch touchscreen, and it's running Toyota's normal system. It's always the same. This is the Android Auto up here. We can click that right there, go into the Toyota part of it, and it works pretty good. So you do have navigation, you've got your music sources, your phone connection, and then we can go down here to settings, and then through here you can make some adjustments and connections and customize it a little bit, but we're going to also go through that a little more in the tech video. But it works pretty well. Sometimes it can be a little slow and laggy, but most of the time it works really well. You got 2 vents right here, and you come down, and then you also have all of your climate control buttons across here, so you still have physical buttons in here. Down here you have heated seats, so this is high and low, and then over here you have a USB-C. Down here you have a wireless phone charger, and they just updated this system, so hopefully it works a lot better for people. Standard shifter, and you do have your drive mode button right up here, so you can switch through those, and those drive modes you have sport, normal, and eco. You also have an EV mode that you can turn on, and I believe you can drive under somewhere around 20 to 25 miles per hour for maybe just a mile or two at most. And then you come back here and you have your electronic parking brake. You have auto hold there. 2 cup holders right here, and they're pretty decent. They don't have any like grippies or anything to like hold the bottles in there, but as long as your bottle's big enough, it'll stay put. And then you do have a small armrest right here and center console, which doesn't have a lot of room. It's not very big down in there, but you have another USB connection right here, and you have a 12-volt plug right there. This one was optioned with the sunroof, so that you can get that if you choose, and you just have a pull cover so you can block out some of that light if you want to. That's it up front. So let's go to the back. Let's take a look at how much room there is for a 6-foot adult. Door opens pretty wide. It's a good amount of space, be able to get kids in and out of here. Driver's seat is in my driving position, and sitting in here, my knees are just slightly touching the back, not actually pushing into them. It's just barely touching the material. If I relax back a little bit more, then I am into the seat a little bit, but it's not uncomfortable. It's okay. I think I would be okay here. I might ask the driver maybe if they could scoot up just a little bit or tilt their seat up a little bit, but other than that, it's really not that bad. And then headroom back here though, I've got like almost 3 inches of headroom because this roof kind of goes back up at the top here, gives you plenty of room in here. So that's really nice. There are 2 vents here in the center for your passengers, which is nice because sometimes on this size of a vehicle, you don't actually get vents back here. But there's 2 vents right here. You got cup holders here in the door. There also is a center armrest with 2 more cup holders. So I think your passengers will be pretty comfortable back here. Pricing for this Corolla Cross Hybrid is really good. The base S starts at $28,400. If you go up to the SE, you get an 8-inch touchscreen and blind spot monitoring, and that's going to come in at around $29,700. Then you have the Nightshade trim. With that, you get 18-inch gloss black alloy wheels and special black and red fabric interior and black exterior trim. So all this chrome you see on here will be blacked out. That's going to start out at around $30,640. And then you have this XE trim, and it starts at $31,600. This one with its options, which they did add several options on there, including the sunroof, the power liftgate, JBL audio system, adaptive headlights, 2-tone paint, and the crossbars, comes in at $36,700. So fully loaded at $36,700. That's an amazing price. Let's go out here and see if we can get a 0 to 60 in, which it looks like we probably can. Not gonna go real fast, but ready? 1, 2, 3, go. Oh, this actually pulled pretty well. Wow. All right, there was 60. That was a lot better than I expected. Now, it did have a little squat to the back end. It did kind of kick back, front end came up, and it took off. Now, it didn't throw me back into the seat or anything, but wow, that was impressive. So that's good. Yeah, I don't have any problem with that. In the time that I've been driving this, the suspension has actually felt really good going over bumps and everything. And they say it's got a sport-tuned suspension, which I can feel that it is a little stiffer at times. And it does help with kind of more going into the corners. You don't quite have as much body roll as you do with standard suspension. But it's not a sports car by any means. And the fuel efficiency in here, I've been averaging somewhere around 35, 36. We really haven't hit that 42, but one thing that's been going on right now is our weather. Weather's been really ridiculous, and we've had 20 and 30 mile an hour winds almost every single day here in the Midwest. It was 80 degrees one day, and 2 days later it was snowing. So we're kind of at that time where we've got some crazy weather going on right now. So I can't really justify the miles per gallon and say, hey, this is what it actually gets, because right now our weather conditions are really messing with everything. I like the way this is laid out on the inside. Yes, it does kind of seem plain and not like real edgy or anything like that. It's kind of like the outside, you know. It's just kind of, I'm here, I look nice, drive me, and you'll be fine. And that's kind of how this car is. Something you just get in and you just drive every day and enjoy the ride and the gas mileage on it. Everything is laid out in good area. You can reach everything very easily. I don't have to reach for anything. It's all right here. And if you have had Toyotas in the past, then you know the steering wheel, you know how all of this is set up. So yeah, I am actually really impressed with this car, and I am enjoying it. Thanks for joining me with this review of the 2024 Toyota Corolla Cross Hybrid. I think it would be a great buy for a family or a commuter that wants to save money on gas. If you guys enjoyed this, hit the like button, then click on one of the videos on the screen. One is going to give you a little bit more information about this Corolla Cross Hybrid, and the other one YouTube thinks that you're going to enjoy. So click on one of them and have a blessed day.